Number 3, beautiful building to the left of Flag Central, as you see there. That flag is absolutely enormous. It's almost the size of a football pitch. Women's 67, men's +80s, all the heavyweights. Absolutely unbeatable at the moment, isn't he?
And that's what happens. It's about confidence. It's the changing of the guard. The new ones come in, the old ones move out, and that's what we're witnessing here in Taekwondo. Obviously ably aided and abetted by the new system, but this man here, Larin, full of focus. Well, we saw Albert Gon, his compatriot in the Russian team, very impressive. And I think what's important as we see the fighters here, Golec and Larin, coming up, is that all of these fighters have a presence about them. They have their own personality, their own style, and that's the beauty of Taekwondo. It develops that, it lets them showcase that, and then they have a platform based on their skills to express themselves.
Absolutely, John. Our referee is from France, Serge Sembona, with Germany, Portugal and Turkey in the judging corners, and our Cypriot video official. They like to keep them in there for a little period at a time. Panikos Loizu. So a final bout here. We've had 12. Well, we've had 11 so far. This is the 12th of the session, and then we have finals later on today from Baku. Very similar build, the athletes. So one of those bouts that I know you like, John, where you've got two very similar athletes. It's down to the actual styles.
Yep, it's down to skill.
Yeah.
Rather than physicality. Will plus skill at the moment has put the Russian on the board. He's using that front leg again. And a very defensive guard so far from Golec, the Croatian, leaning back, keeping himself out of danger. But when you do that, it means that your distance is just short. Where your head position is when you're kicking is so important. If you're leaning back, it's very, very hard to get the power behind the attacks.
If you just saw your opponent win 20 points to 1 after only 2 rounds in the quarter-final, you may go in with a defensive stance in your semi-final. I think, you know, we can't blame him for that. He's just seen Larin look on fire, and he's trying to just annul it now, isn't he?
Yep, that's actually exactly what the situation is. He's a little bit wary, some trepidation in the style of the Croatian. He has to put a little bit more pressure on Larin, because he does have that physicality, and that's a little bit better. He's not as leaning back as far now. He's got a little bit more balance about his body.
Yeah.
A little bit more confidence here.
But he's not even looking to counter-attack. When Larin attacks, he's just moving away. He's not looking for the counter. He's just trying to get his first period out without too much damage, and then he can reassess with his coach.
The open stance, front leg counter there, just behind the guard. Good push kick there from Larin, just to say, okay, step back again, think about it.
Yeah, he's settling into it now, isn't he? He's a couple of attacks coming from him.
And that's what happens, is there's a back leg counter as well. No, it's once you find your range, then you can let your shots go. You measure twice and cut once, to use an old tailoring term. So you've got to get the distance, then make the move.
Well, Golec will be absolutely thrilled with that first period. That first round there, I don't think the crowd are too thrilled with it. They're wondering what's going on. But, you know, he's done, and possibly the coach has sent him out there to do that number and say, look, I just want you to go out and just completely stop him, make him ask a few questions to himself. He's just scored 20 points in 2 rounds in his quarter-final. He's going to be absolutely thinking he can score points by kicking anything that moves. So just stop all that and let him doubt himself a little bit and move in. And there was no doubt towards the end of that first round, he was getting a little bit more freer, and Golec was, you know, having a few moves on the Russian. Coach definitely happy. He's looking alert. That definitely went well for him. So now he moves it on to the next level. He's only 1 down. Sembona of France, the referee, calls the fighters together.
A former athlete himself in the heavyweight division, so he's got the previous.
Yeah.
Into the open stance straight away. trying to, as you said before, annul each other, cancel each other out. That's certainly the tactic at the moment, but there's a shot underneath and out. That changes the game here. Means that Golec, the Croatian, has to come forward. He has to put a little bit of power behind his shots. That's going to play in the hands of the Russian, Larkin.
Larkin looking very confident here, and Golec again just a little bit concerned. He's gone a little bit ultra defensive again. Not really making a serious attempt at a kick, just almost posing there.
Yeah, tried one there round the back, just tried to step round, and that's what he's going to have to do, because in this stance he's having no joy. He needs to come off the line, obviously the line being if you're going back straight back and forward, changing the line and stepping off the mat there. And that's what's happened. That's good work from the Croat. Bit of pressure.
Yeah, well he put a kick in, and he was only a couple of points on the little graphic in the bottom corner away from scoring. He was very close to the threshold, so this is okay for him as it is. I think if you'd have said to him you'd be 2-0 down after two rounds, I think he'd have taken that.
No, I think you're right. It's a difficult one for him at the moment. Do you attack? Do you save it for the third round? He's going to have to do something at the moment, but credit to Larin, because he's keeping it quite simple, keeping it quite steady. He's happy with this. The pressure, that's the punch, but instead of standing looking at the scoreboard, he has to put the pressure on Larin. Easier said than done, of course. Different dynamic when you're in there getting kicked. As I say, everyone's got a plan till they get kicked in the face. Good cover there. Well, something positive from the second round there from the Croatian.
Yeah. Well, 2-0, Russia lead.
For placing the gold medal finals. Russia still leads 2-0.
Yeah, he's just looking a little bit dazed and confused here. He hasn't got his tactics right at the start. Throwing one shot at a time is not going to do any damage, because you don't give your opponent anything to think about. And he's actually looking at the scoreboard there while he's kicking. It's easy to be critical, but he has to realise, obviously, the scoreboard's not going to kick you. So let your legs go and put a little bit more pressure on Larin. We've not seen that yet. However, as you probably said, you did say, and you called it right, I think, he's saving it up for the third round here, because he didn't want that high-scoring match to come back from.
Yeah. So here we go. Third round, expect to see quite a bit more action, because there's a major final in the offing. The Croatian has definitely managed to just close this down early on. He's put a few attacks in, and now it's all to play for in the third, and he starts off well. And that was unlucky. He could easily have scored there. That was a big hit on the vest.
And he's got his distance right now, and that was 2 kicks instead of 1. Instead of just walking in there, which he has done, because Larin just picks up that shot. And that's a better idea. Has to change, has to give his opponent a little bit more stress. It's been that's better from the Croatian. But Larin in position, and there's a definite Kyungo. And I have to disagree with Serge Chambot. There was a pick-up leg there to block the shot. Within the rights, though, as you say, the push after it made the difference with the Kyungo. Almost again from Larin. On a little Kichter scale there, 23. And again to the body from Larin. He's coming up against a real redoubtable Russian here. A lot of power behind those kicks.
Russia will be happy here. Larin 4-0 up with just a minute to go here in this third. Make that 5 again, just that little push kick, collects another point. He's been able to score from, from what seems to be long distance. He stretches and gets the kick, gets the touch.
He's got that range of movement, and he has the precision, and that's what's made the difference. Good spin attempt there, but it's the side step that makes the difference, comes off the line.
Yeah.
Head kick attempt there from the Croatian Golec, but it's going to be too little too late, you would fancy. Push kicks from Larin. There's another little simple shot, almost scoring. Tries with the back kick. There's the head kick to finish, and that shows you the gap in quality and indeed the gap in scores. 8-0 now to Russia.
And he's going to get a standing count as well. The referee thought that he took a big one there. And, well, I think we've got the final. We had a few Azerbaijan-Russia finals last night. We have another one tonight. In the men's heavyweights, it will be Azerbaijan versus Russia. And Vladislav Larin, the 19-year-old, will be facing Vadik Isaev of Azerbaijan in the gold medal final later on here today in Baku. Not many bouts left. Isaev, 25-year-old, so a little bit of a distance there. Larin wins 8-0. The Croatian really never close there, was he?
No, he gave it all he had, but he got his tactics wrong at the start. Lost concentration, lost a couple of points, and then he came out with the second round, tried to go with a double kick, and then because that didn't score, he had to come forward, and he almost lost his head guard at the end there. Great execution from Larin, a worthy win.
Well, we've seen a wonderful session of Taekwondo there. There's a summary of the semi-finals and the final we're going to see later on tonight here in Baku. That's the women's Mandic versus the Pang. The 1 and 2 in the world will go head-to-head. And in the men's, it's Isaev versus Larin. And we've also got some bronze medal contests as well. There's going to be a fair bit of action. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage here from Crystal Hall number 3. We've got one more session to come this evening. I hope you're enjoying the Taekwondo here. We certainly are. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the session at the Crystal Hall 3 on behalf of the Baku 2015 Organizing Committee for the European Games. We hope you have enjoyed your day. Thank you for being part of Baku 2015. Before you go, have a quick look around to make sure you have all your possessions and have a very safe journey. It's been magic.